The sky above the shattered planet swirled with streaks of purple and gold, a storm of energy that danced across the horizon. Crystalline spires jutted from the ground like jagged teeth, reflecting the twin suns in fractured beams of light. The air hummed faintly with a strange resonance, carrying scents of ozone and scorched metal. I adjusted the straps of my armor and gripped my plasma rifle tighter. They thought humanity would break. They were wrong. We were just getting started. I had trained for countless alien encounters, simulations and drills designed to prepare me for anything. But nothing could prepare me for the moment I stepped onto this planet, standing amidst ruins that seemed alive, as if they watched and judged every movement. My squad followed silently behind, weapons raised, helmets reflecting the kaleidoscopic sky. I could feel the tension coiling in my chest like a living thing. Fear was there, yes, but beneath it burned something else, the stubborn defiance that made us human. The ruins ahead were remnants of a civilization older than any history we knew. Jagged walls glowed faintly with blue energy, pulsing in rhythms that seemed almost deliberate. Shadows moved unnaturally across fractured corridors, and I imagined creatures hiding just out of sight, calculating, observing. My mind raced with scenarios, each more terrifying than the last, but I forced myself to breathe, to focus, to remember why I was here. Humanity was being watched, tested, underestimated, and we were about to prove them wrong. Captain Mara signaled for us to halt. Her visor reflected the fractured light as she crouched behind a crystalline outcrop. "Sensors picking up movement," she whispered. "Not sure if it's life or something else. Stay sharp." My fingers tightened around the rifle. My pulse raced as a faint shimmer appeared in the distance, coalescing into a serpentine shape. Its scales reflected the suns like liquid silver, eyes glowing with an intelligence that felt uncomfortably aware. My breath caught. Training told me to fire, to react, to stay calm, but instinct screamed caution. This was no simulation. This was alive. This was unpredictable. The creature tilted its head, observing us with deliberate patience. My mind flashed to every story I had heard about alien intelligence, calculating, precise, often lethal. They could predict every move we made, anticipate our tactics. But we were humans. And humans, well, humans had a talent for making sure asterisk tee up when the odds were against us. I felt the weight of my responsibility crush me for a moment. My squad looked to me, eyes wide with tension. I swallowed hard, drawing strength from somewhere deep inside. "Steady," I whispered, though I wasn't sure if I was reassuring them or myself. The locket around my neck, a gift from my younger sister, swung gently against my chest. A small reminder of home, of why we fought. The creature inched closer, each movement measured, testing us, gauging our reactions. I noticed subtle patterns in its motion, pauses, head tilts, micro-adjustments in its stride. My fear sharpened into clarity. We weren't just going to survive this encounter through firepower. We had to think, to improvise, to act in ways no algorithm could predict. Captain Mara's hand signaled forward, and we advanced cautiously. The crystal shards beneath our boots clinked, the resonance echoing across the ruins. The alien's eyes followed, tracking, analyzing. My mind raced. If it expected a direct attack, perhaps a feint, something unexpected, would give us an edge. I motioned to a shattered spire and whispered, "Cover me." Diving behind the jagged crystal, I used the reflection of sunlight across its surface to blind the alien momentarily. My squad moved instinctively, understanding the plan without words. The creature recoiled, confused, calculating what we had done, unable to predict the improvisation. Humanity thrived in chaos, and in that brief moment, our unpredictability became our weapon. Energy beams lit up the ruins as the alien adjusted, striking nearby spires. Sparks flew, fragments of crystal scattering across the floor. I rolled, firing precise bursts, creating illusions of movement that masked our real positions. Every instinct, every decision, felt amplified by fear and necessity. The alien's awareness of us grew, but so did our confidence. It was learning, yes, but so were we. For the first time, I felt a surge of exhilaration amidst the terror. The chaos of battle wasn't just survival. It was an opportunity to show ingenuity, to adapt, to be human in the truest sense. Our unpredictability, our creativity, our stubborn will to endure. These were weapons no alien could fully anticipate. The creature hissed, retreating slightly, eyes narrowing as if acknowledging the challenge. My squad advanced cautiously, hearts pounding, every sense heightened. We weren't just surviving. We were testing the boundaries, exploiting the gap between instinct and expectation. Humanity had been underestimated. But we would continue to improvise, to resist, to fight. And this was only the beginning. As the twin suns dipped lower, casting fractured shadows across the crystalline terrain, I allowed myself a breath. The ruins loomed ahead, full of unseen dangers, but I felt something I hadn't felt before. Confidence born from ingenuity, courage born from fear, and the unshakable certainty that humanity would keep making sure *T up, no matter the odds. The alien hissed one final time before disappearing into the depths of the ruins. My squad exhaled collectively, armor clinking, energy weapons humming softly. I straightened, adjusting my grip on the rifle, and whispered to myself, almost defiantly, "Let them come. We're ready." The wind carried the faint hum of alien energy, the resonance of a world older than time, alive and observing. And I knew, deep inside, that we were not just humans in an alien landscape. We were unpredictable, relentless, and impossible to forecast. The adventure had only begun, but already, the universe had learned something vital about humanity. No matter how precise their predictions, we would always keep making sure *T up. The ruins were alive with energy, humming in frequencies that made my teeth tingle. Each crystal spire pulsed faintly, casting fractured beams across jagged corridors. My squad moved cautiously, scanning every shadow, every glimmer. Fear still pressed against my chest, but it was tempered by a sharp edge of determination. We had survived the first encounter, and we were learning fast. Humanity had a habit of turning chaos into advantage, and we were about to prove it again. Captain Mara paused behind a shard of crystalline wall, signaling us to halt. Her visor reflected the suns, glinting gold and violet. Movement detected. "Larger than before," she said, voice tight. "Stay sharp. This isn't a drill." I swallowed, my fingers tightening around my rifle. The simulations had prepared me for alien combat, but nothing could prepare you for this. Creatures with intelligence beyond comprehension, anticipating your every move, predicting your every strategy. That's the terrifying part. They were good at their job. But humans had creativity. Instinctive, unpredictable, chaotic creativity. And we were about to use it. From the shadows, a massive creature slithered into view. Its scales shimmered like liquid metal, eyes glowing with a faint blue light. Every movement was precise, calculating, as if it could foresee our next steps. My squad instinctively raised weapons, forming a defensive line, energy pulses humming along the edges of our armor. I could see the fear reflected in their faces, and in my own, but there was a glimmer of defiance too. I noticed something odd in the creature's pattern, a brief pause in its stride. My heart pounded. We had predicted it would anticipate our standard approach, but what if we didn't use a standard approach? I whispered to the squad, "Scatter to the left, then converge on the crystals." Now. Chaos ensued. Energy beams flashed across the ruins, striking spires and walls with a shower of sparks. The alien's eyes narrowed, confused by the unpredictability. It expected patterns, predictable movements. But humans weren't predictable. I rolled over shards of crystal, firing short bursts, bouncing reflected light off jagged surfaces to blind its senses. My squad mirrored the tactic, improvising seamlessly. Even amidst the terror, I felt a rush. This was humanity at its core, adaptable, inventive, and relentless. Fear sharpened our senses, focused our minds. We moved faster, dodged more precisely, and struck in ways the creature could not anticipate. It recoiled, frustrated, adapting slowly while we improvised constantly. Suddenly, another wave of aliens emerged from a side corridor, larger, faster, more coordinated. Captain Mara barked orders, and we split into teams, each taking advantage of the environment. Crystalline walls became cover, reflections became weapons, and the pulsing light of the ruins painted the battlefield in gold and violet flashes. I ducked behind a shard, glimpsed a massive alien lunging toward my squadmate, and instinctively threw a shard like a javelin. It struck true, knocking the creature off balance. My squadmate gave me a quick nod, and I felt a spark of pride. Improvisation had saved a life. The alien host adapted quickly, learning our patterns, but we kept changing. We invented moves in real time, exploiting the unpredictability of human thought. Each improvisation threw them further off balance. Energy beams collided, fragments of crystal exploded across the ruins, and the resonance of alien energy pulsed through the corridors like a warning. Fear was still there, yes, but it had transformed into a razor-sharp focus. My mind raced, analyzing every movement, every opening. Humanity thrived in chaos, and this battlefield was ours to manipulate. We could predict their reactions by being unpredictable, a paradox only humans could execute. Then came the unexpected. A collapse in one of the spires sent shards raining down. One alien lunged toward a teammate, ready to strike, but instinct and improvisation met it halfway. We coordinated reflexively, anticipating each other's moves without speaking. In a blur of motion, we incapacitated the creature, energy sparks flying around us. My lungs burned, muscles trembling, but adrenaline surged stronger than fatigue. Captain Mara clapped me on the shoulder. "They are learning. But so are we. Keep it up." I nodded, heart hammering. We were alive, but the alien intelligence was relentless. Each victory was temporary, each improvisation a gamble. But humans had one advantage that no simulation could replicate: the willingness to act without pattern, to break every expectation, to adapt in ways the universe never accounted for. The twin suns reflected off the spires, casting fractured light across the battlefield. My squad advanced cautiously, scanning for more movement. Shadows shifted, and I knew more waves were coming. The creatures were intelligent, calculating, and deadly. Yet, for the first time, I felt exhilaration amidst the fray. Chaos was our weapon. Unpredictability was our shield. And humanity, unpredictable, inventive, relentless humanity, had just proven it could survive against foes that could calculate everything, except the human capacity to improvise. As we pressed deeper into the ruins, every step was a balance between survival and innovation. My mind whirred with possibilities, tactics that didn't exist in any manual, strategies born in real time under fire. The creatures could anticipate patterns, but humans were masters of creating no pattern at all. I exhaled slowly, adrenaline mingling with awe. The ruins stretched endlessly, alien energy humming beneath our feet, the suns reflecting off jagged spires in golden and violet hues. We had survived the first onslaught. But the war had only begun. The aliens could predict every battle, but humans kept making sure asterisk T up. And that truth, raw and undeniable, was our greatest weapon. The ruins were no longer just alien architecture, they were a labyrinth of danger. Shadows stretched unnaturally across fractured corridors, and the low hum of alien energy had grown into a resonant, almost sentient vibration. My squad moved cautiously, each step measured, every reflex tuned to the faintest sound. Fear had become a constant pulse, and yet, amid it, there was the spark of determination that made us human, unpredictable, inventive, alive. Captain Mara signaled a halt behind a jagged crystal outcrop. Her visor reflected the sun's, casting fractured light across her exhausted face. "2 units are missing," she said, voice tight. My stomach sank. Every simulation I had ever endured had drilled me in maintaining composure, but this was no simulation. Comrades had disappeared into the alien labyrinth, swallowed by shadows and silence. A metallic screech echoed through the corridors. One of the alien serpents, larger and faster than the others, had leapt from a spire above, striking my squadmate with crushing force. He tumbled across jagged shards, armor dented, energy flickering. I lunged, dragging him behind cover, heart hammering in terror. Survival here wasn't about skill alone. It was about ingenuity, split-second decisions, and the unyielding human will. Then came the real shock: betrayal. Lieutenant Cade had taken a path I hadn't noticed, disappearing into a shadowed corridor. At first, I assumed it was tactical, a flanking maneuver. But then the comms crackled with his garbled voice, unmistakably human, yet twisted with desperation. "I can't follow orders," they promised. The static distorted his words, but the meaning was clear. Fear had fractured our team. Humans, our own people, were faltering under pressure. I pressed on, muscles tense, pulse surging. Every corridor threatened death. Every step demanded focus. I fired short, controlled bursts, beams of energy slicing through shadows. The aliens were cunning, herding us into narrow passages where retreat was impossible. My mind raced, weighing tactics, improvising moves on the fly, searching for openings that no alien could predict. Our fear sharpened into clarity. Chaos was our ally, improvisation our weapon. Then, Cade reappeared, weapon raised, aimed not at the aliens, but at us. "You'll slow humanity down," he said coldly. They offered safety. "You're expendable." Rage, disbelief, and fear surged in me, a chaotic storm threatening to consume focus. One squad mate fired instinctively, and energy beams erupted across the corridor. I ducked behind a crystalline wall as shards and sparks rained around me. Yet, amid the betrayal and chaos, a deeper resolve emerged. Fear had always been a shadow over us, but now it became a tool. Humanity thrived in unpredictability. We improvised, adapted, and exploited every opening. The treachery of one soldier, the relentless precision of alien intelligence, none could fully anticipate the creativity born of desperation. I spotted a narrow vent above the corridor. It was perilous, barely wide enough for one person, but it offered a tactical advantage. My squad followed, instinctively trusting the decision. From above, we could see the labyrinth sprawled beneath, alien creatures milling, unsure of our position. Fear threatened to paralyze me, but determination surged stronger. Humanity had been underestimated. Again, improvisation became our shield. From the vent, we watched the aliens coordinate, adjusting to every move we had made. They were intelligent, relentless, but we had learned something crucial. Their predictions worked only if we followed patterns. Humans, by contrast, could invent on the spot, react in ways no calculation could account for. The realization burned within me, igniting courage where terror had reigned moments before. The sound of shards breaking below snapped me back to the present. Another alien lunged toward my squad mate. Instinct took over. I hurled a fragment like a spear, striking the creature with precision. My squad moved in perfect, unspoken coordination, neutralizing the threat. Every improvisation, every split-second decision, reinforced what I had felt. Humans were unpredictability incarnate. Captain Mara's voice cut through the hum of alien energy. "Keep moving. Every advantage counts." We surged forward, hearts pounding, muscles trembling, yet minds sharper than ever. Shadows shifted around us, creatures readjusting, but we stayed one step ahead, inventing strategies in real time. Fear had not disappeared, but it had transformed into focus, creativity, and unyielding resolve. The alien ruins stretched endlessly, glowing spires casting fractured light over the battlefield. Each step forward was a victory, each improvisation a defiance against expectation. The betrayal had tested our trust, the alien threat tested our skill, but we had discovered something far more valuable. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't firepower or technology. It was ingenuity, unpredictability, and the sheer will to survive. Finally, a quiet moment descended as the immediate threat receded. Shadows lingered, alien energy hummed faintly, and the labyrinth awaited our next move. My squad exhaled collectively, breathing hard, armor scratched and dented, but faces shining with the first glimmers of hope. We had survived chaos, betrayal, and relentless intelligence. I pressed my hand to the locket around my neck, a small symbol of home, of why we fought. We were human, flawed, fearful, yet astonishingly inventive. We would survive. We would fight. And when the universe underestimated us again, we would keep making sure *T up. The twin suns cast fractured golden light across the crystalline spires. The air was heavy, yet alive. I knew, in the quiet before the storm of the next encounter, that this breaking point was merely a crucible. Humanity would emerge stronger, sharper, and more unpredictable than ever. And somewhere deep in the ruins, the alien intelligence paused, calculating, frustrated. It had anticipated everything, except us. The alien ruins stretched like a labyrinth of shattered dreams, bathed in the harsh gold and violet light of the twin suns. Every jagged spire, every fractured wall reflected the chaos of our last encounters. The alien host had regrouped, larger, more coordinated, and smarter than ever. The corridors hummed with a pulsating energy, almost sentient in its awareness of our presence. But this time, something was different. This time, I felt it, the raw, unshakable human resolve that no algorithm could predict. Captain Mara crouched behind a crystalline outcrop, eyes scanning the shifting shadows. "This is it," she said, voice tight. "Hold the line. We can't fall back." My squad exchanged determined glances. Fear was still present, sharp and immediate, but it was tempered by something stronger, defiance. We had survived impossible odds, improvisation our weapon, creativity our shield. The aliens had predicted everything so far, except humans' ability to invent in the moment, to act with instinct and ingenuity. The alien horde surged forward, scales gleaming, claws slicing the air. Energy beams tore across the ruins, scattering crystalline fragments like sparks in a storm. My heart pounded, every sense screaming. I raised my rifle, but for the first time, I didn't just react. I created. Rolling over a jagged shard, I reflected a beam back at the nearest alien, using the broken crystal as a prism. It shrieked, recoiling, confused by the unexpected tactic. We moved as one, instinctively, improvising with precision. Shadows and light became tools. Shards of crystal became weapons. Every fragment of the alien ruins became part of our arsenal. The aliens hesitated, their predictive calculations unraveling as chaos met ingenuity. Humanity thrived in unpredictability, and the battlefield became a canvas for it. Then came the surge. From deep within the ruins, I felt a resonance, a pulse that responded to my own determination. The locket around my neck warmed against my chest, a small, tangible connection to home, to why we fought. I lifted my rifle, whispered to myself, for humanity, and felt a power awaken, subtle, almost imperceptible, yet overwhelming. Every action felt sharper, every movement faster, every squad member in sync as if guided by instinct alone. The alien host faltered. Their intelligence, so precise, so calculating, could not comprehend the chaos we created. We struck, moved, dodged, and improvised in a pattern that was no pattern at all. The air crackled with energy and tension as we turned survival into defiance, terror into creativity. One alien screamed as I used a shard to reflect its own energy beam back at it. Another hesitated, uncertain, calculating the unexpected. Too late. Captain Mara's voice cut through the noise. "Push forward. Every step counts." We surged as one, coordinated instinctively, chaos our ally. The horde struggled to adapt, confusion spreading among them. Humanity's improvisation had become unstoppable. Each move we made defied prediction, defied expectation, and defied annihilation itself. Fear had transformed into clarity, despair into resolve, panic into creativity. Finally, the tide turned. The alien host faltered, retreating into the labyrinthine ruins from which they had emerged. Crystalline shards glittered in the sunlight, reflecting the scars of battle. My squad stumbled forward, exhausted, bodies trembling, hearts pounding. We had survived, but more than survival, we had proven something fundamental. Humans could not be predicted, could not be calculated, could not be broken by fear or intelligence alone. I knelt briefly, pressing my hand to the locket, feeling its warmth. The resonance I had felt earlier lingered, a reminder of connection, of courage, of what made us human. Captain Mara approached, eyes reflecting the shattered light of the ruins. "You've done something extraordinary," she said quietly. "We all have. Humanity, we're never what they expect." I nodded, exhaustion mingling with exhilaration. Around us, the alien ruins were silent, as if acknowledging the defiance of the small, chaotic species that had dared to fight back. The twin suns cast long shadows across the battlefield, painting jagged patterns of gold and violet. Humanity had been tested, almost broken, yet we had emerged not just alive, but victorious. The alien intelligence, for all its calculation and foresight, had failed to anticipate our most powerful weapon, ingenuity, unpredictability, and sheer human will. Our victory was not merely tactical, it was symbolic. We had survived, adapted, and overcome against odds that no alien could predict. I exhaled, the weight of the battle settling into my bones. Around me, my squad shared quiet nods, silent understanding passing between us. Fear remained, yes, but so did hope, determination, creativity, the indomitable spark of humanity. As we prepared to leave the ruins, battered but triumphant, I whispered a vow to all humans, present and future. We endure. We fight. We improvise. We rise. Always. The twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting fractured shadows over the crystalline spires. Humanity had been tested, underestimated, and challenged to its limits, and we had shown the universe something it had never truly anticipated. Humans are unpredictable, inventive, and unstoppable. And somewhere deep within the alien labyrinth, the intelligence paused, recalculating, frustrated. It had predicted every battle, except us.